Cell, structure and function. Introduction. You have earlier studied about the structural organization of an organism, and you now know that the cell is the basic structural and functional unit of all living organisms. Let us now have a look at the structure of a cell, the different parts of the cell, and their functions. Parts of a cell. In order to have a look at the different parts of a cell, let us first try to observe a few cells under the microscope. Take an onion bulb. Remove the dry pink coverings or peels. Take a thin layer of the fleshy white onion peel and place it on a slide in a drop of water. Add a drop of methylene blue solution to the layer of the onion and place a cover slip over it. Ensure that there are no bubbles in the slide and observe it under the microscope. What do you observe? Each cell is separate. The boundary of the cell is the cell membrane. The cell wall is the thick covering over the cell membrane. The jelly-like substance is the cytoplasm, and the round, dense body in the center is called the nucleus. Now we perform another experiment to find the parts in an animal cell. Take a clean toothpick or an earbud. Scrape the inside of your cheek without hurting it. Place it in a drop of water on the slide. You can also pour a drop of methylene blue solution and cover it with a cover slide. Now, observe the slide under the microscope. Do you identify the cell membrane, cytoplasm, and the nucleus? Thus, we know that the cell membrane, cytoplasm, and the nucleus are the basic components of the cell. The entire content of the living cell is called protoplasm. The protoplasm includes the cytoplasm and the nucleus and is called the living component of the cell. Let us now further look into the details of each cell component.
Cell membrane and cell wall. The cell membrane, also known as the plasma membrane, encloses the cytoplasm and the nucleus. The cell membrane gives the cell its shape. The membrane separates cells from one another and also from the surrounding medium. The plasma membrane is porous and thus allows movement of substances or materials inwards as well as outwards. The cell wall is an additional layer of plant cells that, along with the plasma membrane, gives shape to the cell. It protects the plant cells against variation in temperature, high wind speed, atmospheric moisture, etc., as the plants cannot move.
Cytoplasm. The jelly-like substance present in between the plasma membrane and the nucleus is the cytoplasm. The cell organelles like mitochondria, ribosomes, Golgi bodies are present in the cytoplasm. Nucleus. The nucleus is an important component of the living cell. The nucleus can be stained and observed under the microscope. It is mostly spherical in shape and situated in the center of the cell. It controls the transfer of hereditary characters from parent to offspring. Apart from that, the nucleus acts as the control center of all the activities taking place in the cell. The nuclear membrane separates the nucleus from the cytoplasm. Just like the cell membrane, the nuclear membrane is also porous and allows movement of materials between the nucleus and the cytoplasm. The nucleus of the bacterial cell is not well organized like the cells of the multicellular organisms. Blue-green algae and bacteria are cells having nuclear material without a nuclear membrane. Such cells are called prokaryotic cells, and such organisms are called prokaryotes, where pro stands for primitive and karyon stands for nucleus. Other multicellular organisms have well-organized nucleus with a nuclear membrane. Such cells are called eukaryotic cells. All organisms other than bacteria and blue-green algae are eukaryotes, where U stands for true and karyon stands for nucleus. A microscope with higher magnification allows us to see the nucleolus, which is a smaller spherical body in the nucleus. Other than the nucleolus, the nucleus contains thread-like structures called the chromosomes. These chromosomes contain genes which are units of inheritance and transfer of characters from parent to children. The chromosomes can only be seen when the cell divides. Vacuoles and plastids. Vacuoles are bubble-like blank structures found in the cell. They are the storage organs. They store food, nutrients, and even waste matter. Plants generally have a single big vacuole. Animals generally have smaller vacuoles. In plant cells, there are several small colored bodies scattered in the cytoplasm. These small colored bodies are called plastids. Plastids have different colors. Plastids that are green in color contain the pigment chlorophyll. These green plastids are called chloroplasts. Chloroplasts give the leaves its green color, and chlorophyll helps in the process of photosynthesis. Difference between plant and animal cells. You have observed both onion cells, which are plant cells, and cheek cells, which are animal cells. Let us now have a look at the differences between plant and animal cells. Plant cells have a cell wall. Animal cells do not have a cell wall. Both plant and animal cells have a cell membrane, nucleus, nuclear membrane, cytoplasm, and vacuole. Plant cells contain plastids. Animal cells do not have plastids. Summary. Let us now summarize what we have studied so far. The cell has three main parts. The cell membrane that gives shape to the cell and allows transfer of substances. The nucleus controls all the activities of the cell. The cytoplasm contains the other cell organelles. Nucleus is separated from the cytoplasm by a nuclear membrane. Prokaryotes are organisms that contain cells without a well-organized nucleus, that is, lacking a nuclear membrane. Eukaryotes have a well-organized nucleus. Plant cells have a cell wall around the cell membrane, unlike animal cells. Plant cells have a huge central vacuole. Animal cells have many smaller vacuoles. Plastids are colored bodies found only in the plant cells. Chloroplasts are green plastids that contain the pigment chlorophyll.